Good afternoon, everyone. So, I think we are nearing to the lunch time, so we have to make it quick, and that's why. The topic of the discussion for this panel is the Code Guardian, AI's trial by fire. As all of us know, right, the way cybersecurity threat landscape is evolving, and AI is at the center, right, of this transformation. But the biggest question remains same: Are we actually venturing into this speculative territory, uh, or AI can actually help us in enhancing the code-based security? Because the topic of discussion is not the AI in SOC transformation or overall security, but this topic is focused around the code-based security. So today we will be exploring the complete AI security landscape in code-based security, how it is helping in terms of threat detection, vulnerability management, and even automating the security tasks. We will also understanding how AI is going to look into the code-based security from complementing from human oversight also. So because the moment we are investing into AI in code-based security, the importance is how complexities and vulnerabilities are also getting introduced. So to kick start of the discussion, I would be like to asking all the panelists, esteemed panelists, the questions around AI security in code base and want to hear their insights and experiences also. So the first question to you, Kiran, when we talk about AI's effectiveness in code-based security, so obviously from your experience, I just want to understand from you how effective AI has been in the code security when we compare to traditional methods.
So, my take largely is on the vulnerability management. It's more about if you see AI really has excelled in terms of identifications of the vulnerabilities in terms of the large code base. For example, if you look at the SaaS tool, the security application testing tool, so where it is in terms of something which is very subtle, which really gets missed from the manual testing, that is where it really comes out into the really scan and detection. Other is on the automation. I think AI really shines in terms of automation's perspective. So in terms of the automated scan, automated patching, also in terms of the identification or the access control metrics as well. I think these are the couple of variances which we have seen. And lastly, I've also seen it coming across in terms of the detecting zero-day vulnerabilities, in terms of having the detections and having a bots deployed to really scan and really patch them doing an automated. But end of the day, it's an automation or AI is also a double-edged sword. We really need to put an human intelligence behind it. It's just not, it should, AI should augment human and it should not replace this thing. So it is very important that there is a human on, so the cybersecurity professionals really can add value in more strategic initiatives rather than getting into a more eyeballs or more of a mundane activities. I think that is where it has really helped in terms of from the code base as well.
I think excellent points, Kiran. But as you largely told about that code-based security in terms of scanning the complex codes, right? But we need to understand even how it is looking into the SAST when we talk about SAST piece and DAST also, and how the vulnerabilities are getting detected. So vulnerability management is something where the human oversight is very important because when you are scanning the large code bases, so you can't just look into that whatever the vulnerabilities are getting identified in SAST or DAST checks, but by looking into these from human oversight also, it is important to gaze into the vulnerabilities and prioritization of the vulnerabilities in terms of risk ratings.
And just to add one more point, Bedi, is if you really look at these open source libraries which are coming, it is all around 70-80% of the source code, if you see, it's all copied from the internet. So it's very important that you'll hardly see any custom codes which have been developers are really building on top of it because most of them are coming from the internet. So it's very important, like the shift left or having the early tools, I think that really helps in terms of having that guardrails placed.
Excellent. So, Pradipta, I will come to you to understand your viewpoints also and the practical scenarios where we can talk.
Yeah, in fact, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, while we are talking about, especially on that code, how that AI can enable them. Today, submarine to your F-35 kind of fly or fighter jet, everywhere if you've seen the code, there are lack of code and thousand of codes been written there, right? So it is not the human being to having each line code and debug them and getting into right code. And it's a mission critical kind of engine, or might be you can talk about processes or infrastructure or anywhere it is. It is not possible without artificial intelligence today, the way we can leverage to finding the faster way, analyzing it better and detecting faster, as well as monitoring those what is happening in life. And secondly, we can have that code release. If you can take an example of Airbnb, every day, I'm not selling those, marketing them, but it is an example of them. 12,000 kind of deployment is happening every day. And if you talk about another example is your Amazon, the way you access your website Amazon, that is 23,000 deployments are happening every day. That means it is almost all 11 seconds. Every deployment is 11 seconds. How can you, the human being can do everything that way? So on that perspective, if you talk about, there should be a very effective kind of framework should be in place while doing this code more granular, or might be more efficient, or might be more malware free, or might be more complete debug or bugs free. Then you should enable your AI in such way that, DevSecOps. That is what we talk about. And moral of in the DevSec, it should be a moral of you should have the right CI/CD pipeline. But if you again, another way of example I can give you, the 19th July, some incident has happened, the CI/CD, where the small bug can be impacted, whole the world stands still, certain processes, right? Those are cases are happening, but still you need that artificial intelligence where the AI is be playing crucial role on your code, while that we always talk about ever on that cloud to code to cloud. That is what we talk about. So if the code is the basic and starting where you should have leverage that AI technology to have that faster response or faster deployment, as well as the security what we're talking about, more of you can enable around the CI/CD pipeline, and it is complete your SDLC life cycle, to be very honest. Without this AI, you cannot having the faster deployment the way I'm talking about. 23,000 kind of deployment in a day, it is not easy. That is my submission one point. Thank you.
So, yeah, right, Pradipta, you made a very wonderful point that while we are using AI for code generation, right, the importance is that how we are not bypassing the security process. Right. That is very important, because in the pressure of business or some sort of quick rollout, right, what developers are doing, right, they are just taking the code from any open source or GitHub, and they are directly making it to the production, violating all those important checks, SaaS dash checks, or what we call it as a DevSecOps, right? So that is why balancing automation versus human oversight is very important. And now coming to you, Pravesh, because when we are discussing about this important topic, and that's why oversight is important. And what areas do you feel which are very critical when we are going to implement code-based security for human oversight?
Thank you for the question. A very good afternoon, everyone. So since yesterday, we've been hearing a lot about the dual perspective of AI. So in this case, AI can be used, one for, the software developer can use that for creating codes. So that is one part. And on the other side, the same AI can be used for, vulnerability management. But in both the cases, the AI is based upon learning from some set of data. So now what we have to focus here is the, you rightly said, the human intervention, because there can be a lot of false positive one, and also there can be a lot of biases. Say, for example, biases on the basis of sample, or biases on the basis of historical data, and all those things are there. So I think the best approach here would be the monitoring from the human side, and so also giving a feedback loop wherein we are giving continuous feedback on the different security patterns and security standards, so that AI is learning on a continuous basis. So the combination of AI as well as the human intervention, human judgment would be the right approach. Yeah.
Excellent. So the key takeaways that from your viewpoint is you can't negate on the human oversight. That's for sure, right? Though we are leveraging the AI in code-based security. Coming to you, Ninad, because obviously he has talked about this particular piece, but what about striking the right set of balance between the human oversight and automating using the AI? Can you talk?
So I think AI has already taken over the security, the tech world, and security is no exception. Now, when it comes to scanning, AI or automation tools are very excellent when it comes to repetitive scanning and scanning a large code set very quickly. And they also are very well in identifying common vulnerabilities and in cases where they are trained to identify zero-day attacks. Now, when it comes to human expertise and experience, obviously, that is not something which the AI can completely replace. Because a human or somebody who already has a context and experience of the entire code, he knows the larger picture and he can also identify, he can also eliminate some kind of false positives. So what I would say in this case is that, AI should be, treated like as a capability augmentation for human or human delivered security assessments, where AI will come up with the findings. A human can quickly go through the findings, understand, what are the false positives. So it's like a mechanism where AI related code security scanning gives a draft report. A human reviews them and, based on his experience, judgment, intuition, and a good knowledge of the overall framework, brings up the final report, which obviously, the developers have to focus on fixing those findings.
Excellent. So what you tried to say is particularly that something where AI biases is something what I can take away from your point is that AI biases in security is something which is important point of discussion. And I would like to carry forward from here to the question to you, Binita. When we are talking about dealing with AI biases in security, so how can organizations identify and mitigate these biases to ensure that AI security tools are fair and effective?
Good afternoon, everyone. So the question what you had asked about on AI, it is, I would say AI is a buzzword now. Many people in industry or maybe in management also, without understanding how serious this job is, they are expecting their repetitive job, their analytics, etc. to go through AI. And also the technology, what we get it on the mobile, that also has pampered us too much to expect an AI in our work life. Now, this AI, what we are expecting, this comes with a bigger responsibility, which is AI code built with security. When it is AI code built with security, then probably I give a classic example like many industries still they are carrying some of the operations through paper. And when it is paper, the expectation is, okay, quickly data has to come up, and the AI ML is the technology where, in my experience, I find the most near to the solution. But more than solution, the security part is more important. And then security should have some of the things which are as a base to be in the solution. For example, it has to be end-to-end, code has to be end-to-end, code has to comply the standards of the company, ethics of the company. At the same time, the most important part, the compliance and audit of the company, it should comply with. So the thing is, the expectation of going into AI comes with a responsibility to build the security addressed in that. And then it is the responsibility of our CIOs who they are providing the solution on AI to build all this. This is how, in shortly added to the other colleagues, I would emphasize on this. This is very important part to build security considering all this aspect in our solutions.
Yeah, beautifully explained. So you talked about the important thing of regulatory compliances and understanding the business context and how you are adhering to the compliances overall while having the effective cyber security controls in the code-based security also.
Yeah.
Right. So just wanted to quickly hear from you also, Kiran, on these points.
Yeah, so I agree. I think addressing the AI bias is very crucial for the effectiveness and the efficiency of the decisions what we make. So I think there are a couple of things which we are also internally trying to work out is training and awareness is what education and awareness is what we are trying to do across the entire, whether it is a data scientist, tech, engineering, even the security professionals and the business team as well, in terms of getting them aware of this awareness created from the biasness perspective. Other is also human oversight. It's not only that the AI models are directly running on this thing, but we also put across the human oversights. I think this two things and along with the policy formation is what, because largely in our industry, it's more of a fraud detection along with the security use cases. So it's very important because those are directly associated with the business calls. So I think these are the couple of things which we are really playing a role
So
on.
yeah, responsible uses of AI, and there should be the framework that has to be adopted. And we should not be deploying anything which is something which can compromise on security aspects, and even the biases has to be properly looked into.
And obviously the diverse data collection, because
Yes.
what kind of data sets we are using in terms of training the model, in terms of demographics, regions, all these things also needs to be taken care of.
Right. I think so that's why the interpretation of the AI decisions, and at the same time, you rightly talked about this particular topic also, term also. This is important. Now, coming to you, Sanjeev, because I want to involve you also in this discussion. So, challenges, when we are talking about challenges in interpretability of AI decisions, so how can security teams gain better insights into AI decision-making processes, and what can be strategies which can be employed to make AI outputs more transparent?
So interpretability, we means you all have deployed some AI technologies or made some AI related policies, but do you really think the outcome which has come from those policies or actions that have come from those policies is really the correct or the most optimum action? There are chances that, the AI generated cyber security defense mechanism, may block or take some decisions with respect to some logic which may block the access of some critical person, or may even remove the system or server from the network. So the solution to this is that AI cannot be purely used as a decision maker. So what we have done is, have you ever thought of a security analyst training the AI model rather than, the AI model, training the security personnel? It should be a collaboration for both of them. So whenever a AI takes a decision, the decision should be brought up into a change management board and checked from a security analyst whether that was the most corrective action that was taken or there were some alternatives to it. See, in example of, say, code generation, I don't think so today organization, while developing or putting up the code into application, they involve legal person in execution or developing of that code. The legal person, if involved in execution or code development, could really have given more experienced view in terms of whether that is ethical, that is biased, or that is following certain regulations like GDPR, PDP and other things. So my take here is that whenever you are developing code in the change management, you should also include business as well as the approval from the legal entities, so that we get an effective code that is more beneficial to the business.
Yeah, excellent points, Sanjeev. So coming to you quickly, Pradipta. So in order to make AI outputs more transparent, what strategies from your viewpoint.
I'll explain in simple one sentence is the future of programming today is not the battle between human being and AI. It is more of the collaborate between these two and how effectively and that right spirit we are leveraging the AI is important. That is the strategy. And apart from that, what is the benefit and value you are bringing to the business? Those things has to be taken up. Yeah, thank you.
And obviously identifying the right set of sources from where you are using the platform to generate the code. And those things are very important because if you are not at least you develop the complete set of correct framework, right? So it is going to do the other way around, right? You will be introducing more vulnerabilities into the system, and that can be some sort of business repercussions. Your quick insights here, Vinita, on this point.
I would touch upon, as other panelist has touched on the other part, I would say it's more on human part. So when we see AI code getting built, which comes with a bigger responsibility, then probably I would have the human factor. Means as a responsibility on the human side, we have to have hygiene of the data. Then hygiene of the data also has to have with some discipline. And then probably monitoring time to time what are the new things coming up, building further rules in that AI code. Then analyzing about the data protection, which is another important part, human involvement. So I would say that this comes other than other factor, one of the important, human factor is equally important to embed into it.
Excellent. So I think we have discussed around the effectiveness of AI in code security. Then we understood, right, what's the importance of human oversight versus automation in code security. Then the next thing we discussed about the biases, right, in the AI security. Now coming to the audience for the last question, obviously we would like to hear from all of you in quick 30 seconds. What do you feel, what do you think about the future of AI in code security? Any one of you, if you can take this question and make some good points related to the future of AI in code security. Future of AI in code security, code-based security.
So it can be like, can code development be purely given to an AI, or can AI replace a code engineer in future?
So quickly, yeah, so from...
No,
30
precisely,
seconds from all of
precisely
them.
as I said earlier, the future of programming is not battle between the human being and AI, that is what it is. And mostly if you talk about code today, we are not writing the thousand of codes today, it is already available something, but only ensure that whatever DevSecOps, what we are talking about, that should be part of your culture and system. While you have any application, anything you develop, especially on the software development life cycle. That is what point. Thank you.
So I think that we have to leverage AI for generating code as well as for the code security. But then focusing more on the human intervention and also on the feedback loop, giving continuous feedback to AI for better learning, then that would definitely create a better security solution.
Quickly from...
Yeah, I think AI will continue to evolve and make a key decision in some of those security practices. I would argue that AI platforms will become more secure, more efficient. There will be more legal and regulatory frameworks coming around AI, and the capabilities of AI will slightly continue to evolve and be more close to what a human can think as time goes by.
So I think the future is how quickly we respond in security. That's going to be because attackers are very quick. So I think before there is a breach, I think how does the AI ensures that it remediates, identifies and remediates. I think that is where it's going to be picked up.
I think other panelists have already analyzed what are the future takeaway on this AI coding. But again, other than what others have added, I would say other than, I would say whatever security, other human factor, and then discipline and data hygiene. These 3 points I would like to emphasize on AI coding to make us disciplined to adopt and be very secure about the AI coding.
Exactly. So, just to summarize, so the discipline part you talked about is very important. When we talk about the code generation or managing the complex scans of the code, it's very important that the developers have to adhere to the DevSecOps guidelines. That is for sure. Okay, so in hurry, you can generate the code, you can deploy to the production, that's okay, but then also you need to look into the security aspects, right? You can't bypass the SAST and DAST checks, which are very important, and get into all those vulnerabilities, get those vulnerabilities fixed before rolling it out. And obviously, AI is going to help, but the striking the right balance is something is very important, and that's why human oversight is something which can't be negated, though AI will keep evolving in the future in code-based security also. So thank you all of you for the wonderful insights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, panel. You are requested to please pose for a group photograph. Ma'am, we'll request you to be there as we present this certificate for having planted a tree in your name. And can we please come in synergy and acknowledge whatever they had to share in terms of perspectives, nuggets, takeaways. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all please clap in appreciation of the panel that participated and spent their time and energies